What is up, my What Movie Realists? Once again, I am Matt, and we are back for another reel review. I love doing these guys. I really do, because today I'm here with one of my most anticipated movies of the last 2 years, and that's Captain America: Brave New World. Now, let me just be honest. I'm a big Sam Wilson Captain America guy. When I first started getting back into comic books, like actually physically collecting them, his comic is what spurred that for me. I love it. It is one of my favorite storylines. I know a lot of people feel like it should have been Bucky, but I feel like they made the right choice with it being Sam. And I absolutely love Captain America and the Winter Soldier, aka Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think it's one of the better Disney Plus shows. Yeah, I know that they've kind of fumbled the end, but that's one of those shows that, considering the circumstances where they had to rewrite like the entire back half of the series because of a pandemic storyline, I give it kind of a little bit of a pass. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk to you about this film, because this film, if I'm going to be honest, is an interesting time. It's one of those things where people are worried, and rightfully so, based off of certain reports, that this is going to be a mess, or that it's just not good, or so many things, because we've heard reshoots, that oh so scary word to so many people, or we've heard test screenings report, and people don't like hearing that. But at the end of the day, regardless of those, I still think people should see movies themselves. And that's why I do this, because I saw the movie itself, and I'm here to talk about it. And I think you guys should see it regardless of whether what I say or not. So, speaking of which, I'm excited to dive into this because I had fun with it. Is it a great film? No. It is not the heights of Captain America: Winter Soldier, which I still think is one of the top tier MCU films. But there are elements of that in this, and there are elements of Falcon and Winter Soldier in this also, except instead of it being Winter Soldier, it's now Captain America and Falcon, because as we've seen in trailers, Joaquin Torres takes over as Falcon for Sam Wilson, and that was hinted at because when Sam's wings broke in that show, he let Joaquin keep them, and Joaquin it was hinted at he was going to fix him and turn himself into Falcon. But the real highlights of this film are Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford. Let's just dive into it, because I know the clips that have released for this film haven't been the best. However, I can say confidently that I had so much fun, and I laughed quite a few times, and I was entertained, and I was enjoying watching this mystery unfold for our main characters. Granted, you get an idea of who's behind the scenes the entire time. I respect that. This film does work as a pseudo Incredible Hulk sequel, especially when you tie in Red Hulk and Harrison Ford, but also just some of the things that are covered and explored in this film, finally tying up the loose ends of Dr. Stern, which I was really excited to do, because for those of you who don't know, he becomes the leader, and we're exploring that in this. And I do have to say, the character design they use for the leader is superb. It is different. I know there was a leaked character design. I can gladly say that is false. And the character design we get ultimately kind of leans into body horror, which I kind of found cool and exciting and invigorating. I do have some issues with the plot, just essentially it being at times paper thin, and I remember some of the reports being Adamantium is going to figure heavily into the plot, and for the most part it did, but to be honest, not to the extent that I expected it to. Like, it is a very surface level, hey, all these countries are trying to agree to take over this eternal island that is now just become adamantium. I remember Tiamat, when he was coming out of the ground, was gold, and now he's this silver metal. And just saying, considering they're harvesting the adamantium from Tiamat's body, I found it very interesting that this metal that is supposed to be the strongest in the world is easily being harvested. Just something I don't understand. And because they even talk about how strong it is in the trailers. It's stronger than vibranium. Why is it being able to be harvested so easily? But I digress. Ultimately, this film is going to be some people's cups of tea and some aren't. Some people are just going to want to hate it because Bucky isn't Cap and Sam's Cap. What a shock. However, that's just not me. And I think I'm trying to avoid getting into this. I have decided I will do a spoiler review. I have not decided whether that will be Sunday or Monday, and I will try to get a crew together for that because I feel like this is one of those films you kind of need to sit down and talk because while there's a lot going on in the moment, it's not till towards the end where we really start to get the setup for what this means going forward. And I think that's kind of interesting and important. So with that being said, my grade for this was 3.5 out of 5. If you've watched my reviews here before, you know I always say story makes or break a film. And like I said, stories at points kind of paper thin. But I still had an overall good time with it. There's only a few moments where I felt the CGI was very lackluster. And I'll be honest, most of them weren't till the end. But the performances, Harrison Ford just knocks out of the park. Some great cameos that actually serve the purpose of the film. And just an overall solid fun time in the theater. Captain America, Brave New World. Go check it out in theater starting tomorrow. Or tonight if you go to those special IMAX screenings that they are doing. But with that, folks, I also got to plug everything we're doing over here. You can check out our sister channel, Watt Gaming, run by one of my partners, Taylor Cleek, where he goes on a just gaming tirade. And you can go follow us on our Twitch, which is twitch.tv/WattRealEnt, like in that top, spelled like in the corner right there, or down here. But also our ongoing podcast series. I owe you guys one this week on Friday. Views from Metropolis, our Superman podcast. I promise this week you're getting the Superman 4 podcast with Chance Ellison. So I'm excited for that because Chance and I got to have some fun conversation. But overall, we got a lot of fun things going on over here. There will be a monkey review either tomorrow or Tuesday. There will be there's a Gorge review tomorrow, a monkey review on Monday or Tuesday, and just so much coming forward review-wise. So I'm excited to just keep diving into that with you, along with Jeff and so many others who I'm going to hopefully try to get on this channel a bit more. But until then, folks, signing off, I am Matt. This was another Real Review, and we'll see you next time.